everyone, and welcome to another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome back Lee Harris from ATPI Travel. How you doing?
Oh, very good, thank you. In the middle of a heat wave, starting to melt slightly, shall we say, which is unusual for us here. But no, I'm doing okay. Good, thank you.
Is that what happens to the British people when they come over here? Is that why, like, the sides of their faces go down like this?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like the House of Wax. We just melt.
Okay, but the center remains the same. You just melt on the sides.
Yeah. We just melt from the outside in. That's how it works.
Okay. Oh, Good to know. Now
it's
I
a lovely
understand.
look. Yeah, it's a lovely look. Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's not all people from the UK.
Just most.
Right. See, they can't see me nodding on the podcast, right? The video version they can, but on the podcast they can't. So sometimes I get away with things, unless of course I open my big mouth and let the whole game out of the bag, but it is what it is, right? So what's going on in the world of travel? Of course, we wouldn't have a summer travel show without a little bit of strike action. And this one is going to hit especially UK residents where it hurts. EasyJet, tell us about it.
Yeah, thousands of travellers could see their flights cancelled as EasyJet cabin crew have voted for 3 days of strike action over a pay dispute. Surprise, surprise. Flights to Spain are most likely the ones to be hit the hardest. The Spanish trade union has confirmed that the strike will take place from June the 25th and will also impact passengers looking to travel on the 26th and the 27th of June as well. Now, around 657 members of cabin crew will join the strike, affecting 21 aircraft. Now, Spanish airports in Barcelona, Alicante, Malaga, and Mallorca will be hit by the walkout following a negotiation for higher wages. Now, on top of that, there's also a 24-hour general transport strike across Italy, which will affect air travel as well as trains and public transport. That takes place tomorrow, June the 19th, and it will run from 9 p.m. until the 9 p.m. on June the 20th. That will also include baggage handlers and ground crew who will down tools. Also, on top of that, for tomorrow, hundreds of flights have been cancelled due to a strike by the Finnish Aviation Union, which hits 6,000 Finnair passengers. And like I said, that will be tomorrow as well.
Wow. And you know what? I mean, the timing is perfect. My son just sent me a WhatsApp and of course we're in Spain and he said he doesn't have to go back to school because today they went to the beach and there's really nothing happening for the next 2 days and school's over. So right now is really when all the Spanish students are heading off to whatever. So yeah, timing, of course. I mean, they always time those strikes perfectly well, don't they?
Exactly right. I mean, it's a well-planned operation, isn't it, when they choose to strike?
Well, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it when it's going to strike the worst damage.
Exactly right.
And Ryanair has some news.
Yeah, Ryanair is to impose a £500 fine on disruptive passengers who have to be offloaded from flights due to unruly behaviour. Now, the major clampdown on in-flight misconduct by Europe's largest airline comes ahead of the summer peak flying period. Ryanair insisted it was committed to tackling unruly passenger behaviour, which it described as being an industry-wide issue affecting all airlines. Now, passengers expect to travel in a comfortable and stress-free environment with on-time arrival, free from unnecessary disruption caused by a tiny number of unruly passengers, the Ryanair statement said. Ryanair is committed to tackling unruly passenger behaviour for the benefit of its passenger and crew and will continue to pursue disruptive passengers for civil damages at a minimum of a £500 fine.
Well, and ironically enough, a lot of these flights that they're getting over are like, $100 return, right? So to be hit with a $500 fine, but I'm surprised it hasn't come sooner than that. I mean, the absolute shenanigans, what a word, shenanigans, but the craziness that goes on these flights, especially to places like, from England to Ibiza, et cetera. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, any flights to what they class as the party islands. It is crazy. And unfortunately, certain passengers believe that their holiday starts at the airport, which is fine. As long as you're respectful and you are coherent enough to make the flight and not be unruly.
Look, I'm a nervous flyer, so I get having a couple of drinks before you get on the plane. For me, if I'm not taking some anti-anxiety drug, I will have a drink or two before I get on the plane, just simply because I'm nervous of flying.
Yeah.
But these people are pounding it back. I mean, you see them in the airports at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's like they haven't stopped from the night before. It's like their holiday starts the night before, and they show up at the airport, continue drinking, and get on an airplane, and then create chaos in the air. And it's
Exactly
dangerous,
right.
really.
Exactly. Yeah. Very, very dangerous. So yeah, I don't blame Ryanair. I mean, the cost it must be to have to divert a plane, etc., for unruly passengers would obviously be a lot more than £500 anyway.
Well, I mean, Ryanair doesn't get my vote for a lot, but they definitely get my vote for that one.
Exactly right. Yeah, they're not my favorite airline either, but I can understand completely where they're coming from.
Yeah, myself as well. And Eurostar has some news.
Yeah, so Eurostar has announced plans to operate direct services from London to Frankfurt and Geneva. However, this won't kick in until a good few years from now. The new routes to Germany and Switzerland will be made possible by the high-speed operator's purchase of 50 new trains, which are set to enter service within the next decade. Now, as well as operating trains from London to Frankfurt and Geneva, the new fleet will also run services from Amsterdam to Brussels and Geneva. Now, the new trains will join Eurostar's existing fleet, bringing the total to 67 trains. That's a 30% increase on the current fleet. Eurostar also confirmed that it will add a fourth daily service between London, Rotterdam and Amsterdam from 9th of September this year, followed by a fifth from mid-December. This news comes as Virgin Trains and Gemini Trains plans to rival the high-speed operator on cross-channel routes.
Yeah, I think that's something they should be implementing in North America, for example. I mean, I'm moving back to Canada and living in an area where public transit between even, cities that are 45 minutes away are non-existent. And if you want to cut down on traffic, you want to cut down on pollution, you want to cut down on all of that stuff. I mean, it's just convenient. It's high speed. It gets you there quicker, less congested on the roads, less pollution. I mean, it just makes sense. I don't understand why more and more people aren't investing, or more countries aren't investing in that type of system.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think it's interesting that you've now got two other carriers now looking to do, cross-channel trains in Virgin and Gemini. I'll be totally honest, I didn't actually know that they were looking into it until I was researching this anyway. So it's good to know that there will be other operators available as well, not just Eurostar, so they don't have a monopoly on the market as well.
Well, obviously there's a demand. Otherwise, these companies wouldn't be looking into it, right?
Exactly right. And why wouldn't there be? Train travel across Europe is phenomenal and it's cheap. I've been fortunate enough to be able to travel on it, and it is a wonderful experience, and it's very good. It's 99% on time. Like I said, it's cheap, it's comfortable. Why wouldn't you? If you've got the infrastructure there, then you might as well use it. And it's good to see, like I said, it's good to see some more operators coming into the market for it.
Nice. And Air New Zealand has some news.
Yeah, from October 2025, Air New Zealand customers travelling to North America will have access to more than 34,000 additional seats, alongside a boost of 20,000 premium seats across the wider long-haul network. Now, the Star Alliance carrier is also bringing up to 7 newly retrofitted 787 Dreamliners into service by the end of the year, promising a refreshed in-flight experience from nose to tail. Now, overall, the airline will operate 8% more seats to the United States and Canada compared to the previous year between October 2025 and March 2026, including a 15% increase in premium seating. Basically, all in all, it adds up to good news for crew who are traveling from the South Pacific. It's going to give them more options to travel to the United States and the Caribbean for their season.
Not sure they're all going to be traveling to the United States at the moment, but maybe the Caribbean.
Indeed. Yeah. If it means you have to touch down in the US, then you might have to bite the bullet.
There's, some of the sites online right now, like Yacht's Name, Shame, and Fame and things like that, crew are being warned. I mean, it's not, this whole sort of rhetoric of we're going to get rid of all these illegal, immigrants that are criminals. It's just, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're an immigrant, I mean, I think there was a story the other day where there was a woman from somewhere like Guatemala or something on vacation with her daughter, and she was arrested off the streets of New York City. She was just on vacation.
Crazy, which is why it's interesting. Because I was reading when I was researching for the show. I actually read it wasn't a full article, but it was a part added onto an article saying that they didn't name who it was, but a well-known scheduled airline had actually cancelled standard routes and put on deportation flights specifically for the US government because they could fill them easier than they could holiday routes. Just
well, I mean, tourists are like, I think flight bookings from Canada to the US this year are 77% down from last year. And Canadians make up the largest form of tourism for the US. Yeah. So, I mean, if we're 77% down, their tourism market is just it's gonna drop dead and burn. I mean, as well as wine exports. Canada, again, was a huge buyer of US wine, and we're not buying their wine anymore. And their wine producers are definitely feeling the crunch. So I don't know where this is going to end or what's going to happen, but I'm telling you, that's just one of those countries. And I think a lot of countries' travel advisories are including the US as a place not to go.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's just, I wouldn't feel safe. Me and my big mouth. Oh my God.
They'd love a redneck like you.
Oh, I would be, and they'd be shipping me off to wherever, what is it, El Salvador or whatever it is. They wouldn't even, there'd be no stopping to, and hit and go. It wouldn't be, we're going to put, her in Texas and then transfer her to California and then transfer her somewhere. No, it'd be, she's going straight to like Guantanamo Bay or whatever, right? Let's get rid of her, put her in a prison where nobody could ever see her face again. That'd be me. And it wouldn't be intentional. It was just be that I would get pissed off and speak my mind, which is not the best thing sometimes.
Not always. Most of the time, yes. Not always.
Thanks, Lee, for, being honest. I love honesty.
Hey, you know me. I'll tell it to you straight.
Anyways, Lee, I am going to let you get back to your beautiful heat wave there in the UK, and hopefully it lasts for, so I think it was last week you were saying it was beautiful as well. So you guys are on a run.
We are on a roll, yeah. I think it's meant to be well into next week anyway. So getting up to 30 degrees, which is lovely.
What are you going to do with yourselves? You're all going to be tanned instead of white.
But you know what? It was interesting. We got home last night. My eldest daughter, who's 17, this is how unaware she is. She said, she walked indoors. She says to me, "Oh my God, Dad, why have you not put the aircon on?" I said, "We don't have aircon. I can't put it on. We don't have it in this house. It's not a thing in the UK, not really. I can't just switch a button. This is just how hot the house is done."
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, I know back home where I'm going, we always have air conditioning in our house because it's the desert portion of Canada, right? And a lot of people don't realize that Canada has a desert, but it is the desert country in Canada. So in the summer times, it gets to be 40 degrees and it's scorching hot. So we all have air conditioning. But where I grew up was Terrace, BC, sort of the North Coast. And I mean, air conditioning, mind you, we'd be sweating our balls off at 20 degrees, right? So
Yeah.
different thing. Right. Lee, I want to say thank you very much. And of course, if you are planning on doing any traveling or need to book a flight, please do get a hold of Lee. All of his information are below this interview when it airs. Lee, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Always a pleasure.
I know. You've been watching another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea. I've been your host, and on behalf of Lee and I, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.